This is SportsCenter with Elle Duncan and Jay Harris.
Good evening. We are almost to Friday, and your reward, Jay Harris, is NBA playoff action. We're also going to update James Harden. Plus, Russell Wilson speaks for the first time since those trade rumors dominated NFL headlines. His comments on the way.
Okay, plus the postseason college championship field may be getting a little crowded.
Okay.
Kirk Herbstreit with more on that as we check today's headlines. Here's a look at our top
NBA reporter, Malika Andrews, who's joining us now live from Milwaukee. Katie, 61 points in 2 games, Malika. What adjustments could we potentially see coming from the Bucks tonight?
Well, I don't know that their adjustments can be summed up in a Jay-Z lyric like you so eloquently put it, Elle. But
Katie's been going off, but let me say the non-Big Three also doing a great job for the Nets, averaging 66 points a game in this series. That's up almost 30 points from the first round with the Celtics. With that being said, absolutely no one's arguing this team is better without James Harden, so we won't see him tonight. But when could we see him on the floor again?
Well, it's going to need a couple. He's going to need
they're in the best case scenario and playing with house money. They have absolutely cruised through the first 2 games and haven't needed him. So why rush it? Malika Andrews with the latest ahead of Game 3 between the Bucks and Nets. Let's now bring in our Keyshawn Johnson and Dianna Russini, who actually joins us in Nashville right now. I want to start with you, Dianna. What observations can you share with us about Julio Jones' first practice with his new team?
Well, first off, Elle, it's his size that really stands out.
Yeah, you definitely got to build chemistry, right? And by the way, when I was covering the Falcons when he got drafted, Dianna, and same thing, when I first met him, I was like, oh, you seem so much smaller on television. Keyshawn, you played
Yes.
receiver for 4 different teams during your NFL career. So what would you say is the biggest adjustment for Julio in a new place after spending a decade, his whole career in Atlanta?
I think, Elle, he has to
One way
learn.
you ingratiate yourself with your teammates is by turning down getting a number that really made you a Hall of Famer and saying, you got it, I'll do something else. That's a good start, right? A small thing, but a big thing. Keyshawn Johnson and Dianna Russini joining us to talk a little Julio. First day at school for Julio Jones. So not done, and it's so not it because Mark Jackson is joining us now. He is on the call for tonight's game, and he's with us live. Okay, so Giannis and the Bucks, they're trying to dig themselves out of this 0-2 hole. You know all that. But Mark, how much of Giannis's reputation is on the line in this series after so much playoff disappointment from Milwaukee?
Well, it's all on the line. And if he
He's currently joined right now with Derrick Rose and Steve Nash as the only former MVPs to never make an NBA Finals appearance. So we'll certainly see if he can change that. He's got a lot ahead of him. Let's talk about the late game. It's Clippers and the Jazz. Paul George coming off that 4 for 17 shooting performance in Game 1. How much will the Clippers' success in this series depend on PG-13 showing up?
He can't put all the pressure on himself. Again, just like
I wonder
Giannis.
if those Jazz fans poke the bear a little bit, right? After chanting at him, playoff P, we'll certainly see if he shows up and shows out tonight. Keep some quiet. Mark Jackson is on the call. We will see him 7:30 right here on ESPN. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
Analyst Tim Legler with us now. This feels like if being a third wheel was like I feel like a third wheel out here, but nonetheless.
but you're not.
What is your take, Tim, on if the Clippers can even up this series tonight or if the Jazz go up 2-0?
Where's that voice coming from?
No.
Look, I like Utah a lot. I've liked them all year. Utah. I know what I watched all year, and I saw it again in Game 1. Utah, I think, is a team right now that the Clippers are going to have a very difficult time slowing down, particularly at home.
They're really, really good. All right, that's a 10 Eastern tip tonight on ESPN. The early game, Nets and Bucks came through Giannis in Milwaukee in the 0-2 hole. I know who needs to win, but who wins tonight and why?
I know they've gotten smoked.
Hard to believe that Game 2 was the first loss of the season, or the first game of the season for the Bucks, where they were losing wire to wire. To your point, they're always in games, and this has just been sort of out of nowhere. I assume you gave us lots of good stuff. I couldn't hear you from over here, Tim Legler, so thank you for joining us. Nets-Bucks game, 7:30, with NBA Countdown preceding it. Vince Carter for most in Nets postseason history.
He's come back well from that Achilles.
What? That's one way to put it. Hey, NBA Countdown is next. Enjoy!